Hello SIA, this is Marshall Shimon. We want you to be safe and healthy out there. We don't want you to get hurt. Let's go for a little walk and talk about how to prevent injuries. Avoid as many distractions as possible. Be aware of your environment. It's great to be in the moment, but if you're using a cell phone, think about how many senses that simple device removes from our processes. That input that we have regarding what risks are around us. Walking is a great form of exercise. It could be used as a warm-up before your favorite physical activity. Or a complete exercise routine in itself. However, some muscles are more susceptible to the rigors of walking. Sometimes we take what we do so simply for granted. To have the gift of walking is something that we should all value and cherish. As we walk more consistently, we may start to recognize areas that are a little tighter. We may have a little discomfort in the front of our shins. Most people are familiar with the symptoms of shin splints. Other people may have some discomfort in the bottom of their feet. This is typically known as plantar fasciitis. Fortunately, both of these areas are easily treatable. Your common RICE protocol, rest, ice, compression, elevate, tends to serve people pretty well. Sometimes we need to take a break for a couple of days. If you take a day or two to recover, often those muscles have an opportunity to relax a little bit. At some point, we have to break that injury cycle. And our biggest indicator that we're in one of these cycles is pain. Pain is an indicator of inflammation. And if we treat it right away, most of the symptoms can be alleviated. If you notice that your gait is impaired, if you're not walking as you normally do, you got a little hobble, you got a little limp, that's probably an area that should be addressed. As a general practice, if you have previous injuries or conditions, you always have to stay on top of those. We also like to do prehab to prevent the injuries of other muscles that we may not have used in a while, and that's generally exercising those muscle groups. So don't be discouraged if you have a little extra soreness, you feel a little extra tired. It does take a few weeks to get into any sort of routine, and the more consistent you are, the more you practice a solid warm-up routine, incorporate some stretches, some foam rollers, things that can help get your body prepared for exercise, the better your experience will be. You don't want to look at this as a 1 month challenge, but as a gateway exercise and other things that you can do that you've wanted to do that require your body. And we always must appreciate those gifts that we have. Lots of muscles go into that process, lots of motor coordination, a lot of skills. At any given time, if we want to walk, we're one step away from falling. That's truly what walking is. We can look at walking from so many perspectives, but appreciate what it does for you. You have an opportunity to focus on your breathing. You have an opportunity to process your thoughts. Even if you can't get outside, a lot of times walking is just a way to clear my head and to get my body going. If I've been sitting for a while, as most people, we're kind of in sleep mode or after a big meal, take that time to get outside and find some enjoyment. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully we'll have some more videos for you in the future. Take care, be safe, be healthy.